Hello everyone, my name is Zubiksha Thakur and today we have with us Aditya who has recently got recommended from 32 SSB Kapurthala. Aditya, I welcome you here and I congratulate you on your success. So, will
Thank
you please
you.
introduce yourself, Aditya?
Yes, first of all, thanks to everyone. Thanks to SSB Wings. I'm Aditya Tawade. I live in Pune. It was my fourth attempt. I got recommended for TS 47 from 32 SSB Kapurthala.
Okay, so Aditya, as you mentioned that it was your fourth attempt. So, can you please tell what happened in your previous attempts?
Yes, the previous three attempts were for NDA. In my first attempt, I got conferenced out. It was from Bhopal. And afterwards, for the next two attempts, I got screened out from Bangalore and Allahabad, respectively.
Okay. So Aditya, you have seen conference already,
Yes,
right? So then you came here as a repeater.
yes.
So you have experienced SSB as a repeat from a repeater's point of view when you have had got conference out before. So how was your experience? Like, were things different?
Yes, they actually look different because be when I was a fresher, I looked at things differently. I looked at the things from the perspective that I have to impress the assessor. But after analyzing my failures, after analyzing my mistakes, I found that I'm what I have to do is not to impress, but to present myself in such a way that I'll be genuine and they'll get impressed. So for that I needed to start molding my personality. I needed to start working on my communication skills, my body language, everything.
Okay. So Aditya, you have given ND attempts before, right?
Yes.
So did you undergo any guidance before that?
For my three attempts, I was not there. I did not take any coaching, any guidance. I felt that SSB is all about my personality. Why should I take guidance? But that's where I was going wrong. Even if you have a good personality, even if you have got confidence, you always needs a good mentorship to channelize your efforts, to channelize your potential. So that's why, on the suggestion of my friend, I joined SSB Wings for my fourth attempt, and completed the GTO and the psych workshops, and I got what I wanted.
Okay, so what was the difference? Like you were already mentioned that you were saying that is a personality test, of course, and you need not undergo any guidance or any coaching for that. But when you underwent this guidance, mentorship, so what different you find and what made you take that decision that yes, I need this guidance?
The first thing I found that not what perspective that the perspective that I had was completely wrong. Um, the most important thing that SSB Wings did was they changed my perspective, and that's the most important point. The second important point is they channelized my efforts. Like I had potential, I had confidence, but what I needed was the right direction, and that's what SSB Wings gave.
Right.
That's it.
So Aditya, you have got screened out also because I can completely understand how difficult, how heartbreaking it is to get screened out. So
Yes.
after getting screened out twice, you got screened in and you got recommended to. So what was your experience of screening? You have seen the rejection as well as selection. So what went wrong in those attempts and what worked for you in this attempt?
Uh, Firstly, I could not figure out what was going wrong. Like when I got screened out for the first time, I felt that from my side everything was okay. I could not understand what was going wrong. So I just felt like others told me, okay, it is because the assessors didn't like this that. I couldn't find any fault in me. So I did not prepare much. I kept myself the same, and I went for the third attempt, and even then I got screened out. Afterwards, I felt that if there is something wrong with the assessors, I cannot be getting screened out twice. There must be something must be wrong in me. So then I started analyzing my performance. I started recalling what how I performed, and then I found found one thing that I even I used to speak much, but that was either it was not heard or it was not worthy enough to be heard. So then found out that what I needed was to speak less, but to speak that line or that short part that would make everyone discuss. So keeping this in mind, I went for the fourth SSB for TS 47, and in the screening I did the same thing. I just spoke one line, and I gave the theme considering I considered all the themes and gave out one theme as a collective theme. And afterwards, the whole group started discussing on my theme and started mentioning my chest number. So that's how I found that I did not need to do anything. The whole group was discussing my theme. That's it.
Right. Right. So, choosing that right point from where a discussion can take a different league altogether. So that is the point. That is the point where you ensure your selection.
Yes.
So, yes, it is although a very dicey game when it comes to screening. It takes a lot of, like I would not say experience. Nobody would want to go again and again and get experience to that. But yes, it takes a lot of, like, we can learn from others' experiences. As you are
Yes.
here, I am here. Like a lot of people have been there who share their experience. From there, we can learn, and we can like our mentors are here to guide. So here our guidance comes into play. So Aditya, then will come to your psych test. After screening, the next day you underwent your psych test, right?
Yes.
So in brief, if you can tell how was your psych test, what was going on in your mind, were you happy with your performance?
Yes. I would say that I enjoyed the psych test. I did not see it as a test anymore. Like in my previous attempts, I used to see like I have a test that I have to give. What if I don't perform? What if I don't write as I wanted? But after completing the workshop, I started enjoying the process. I started enjoying writing stories, making sentences. Um, like the test started feeling more lively to me. So that was the thing that was in my mind before the psych test started. I was not at all tense or had any sort of tension that how what type of pictures would come, what type of words would come, will I be able to complete write good SRTs? No, I was just the thing in my mind was okay, I'm going to enjoy this test. That's it. And the same thing happened. As I was writing the stories, I never felt like I need more time. I should have written a better story. It was all what I wrote. I could write that all that I wanted.
So
That's it.
this confidence always comes with preparation. So
Yes.
I hope you prepared well. And how were your practice sessions of psych, which helped you gain that confidence?
The psych workshop was amazing. It completely changed my perspective. Like I would say that I always had in me, but I just didn't realize that I could do this much. And Rajiv sir actually channelized all those things. Like he just brought things from my personality and helped me to put them down on the paper. And then it was complete. I would say that the psych workshop was pretty intense. Like if we are discussing one test, our complete focus was on that test, and we would not leave until the test was a cakewalk for everyone. That's it.
Right. So Aditya, you were having your SSBs before as well. So you must have practiced writing stories before on your own.
Yes, yes.
So what was the change then?
Uh,
Where
the
you
ch-
needed the change?
the change was my length of the story. That's the most prominent change I would say, because earlier I used to write really long stories, like they were 12 to 15 lines, and though they were long, they lacked content. Then after completing the workshop, Rajiv sir told about a format, and that format made my story short and made it more content reached in terms. Like I felt that whatever I wanted was there in that short story. That's the thing. And one more thing is that if there is something, if I could see water, I would immediately make a story on drowning, and I won't think of anything else. Even Rajesh sir changed this perspective that even if you see something, there are many ways to tackle it. You can write story on something different, and even the psych assessor loves to read something different, and that's where I think that I ensure my selection.
Right. So obviously, when you can put your thoughts in lesser words, that is more impactful.
Yes,
Right. So, Aditya, I hope your site test went well. Of course, it did. Then coming to your ground tests, like your outdoors, and there are indoors as well, your GPs, group discussions. So, we'll start from indoors, your group discussions and your GPs. So, how did they go? How
they
you
were
prepare?
pretty easy, and the preparation for GD lecture GP needs much of knowledge and observation. Like especially for lecturate and GP, you need to be thorough with the current affairs. You need to read the newspapers, like in the news, and not only reading newspaper, you need to have your own opinions on a particular topic, because people people are ready to tell what they have read in the newspaper, but not everyone tells what their perspective is. And to have your own perspective on a topic show that you're much more knowledgeable than your subordinates. That's the thing. And talking about the lecture is more about the time management. The 3 minute time has to be divided. Like I divide it in 30-second slots, and I allot each slot for a particular topic. Like if we follow the format of the introduction, then the present, then the past, and the future, and finally the summary. If we cover these topics in and allow 30-second slots to all of them, the 3 minutes the 3 minute gets covered, and our content is also presented in a very well manner.
Right. So, Aditya, like what you used to do? You used to read newspapers, discuss amongst your groups. How you used to prepare for that?
Like I had a good friend circle. We used to discuss our opinions on that. Like it was not I read this about this in today's newspaper. We just like even when we I met with my friends, we used to discuss topics, and I used to hear their opinions. I used to present mine, and this all helped me to shape my opinion about a particular topic. Like
Right.
and then not only one newspaper, I used to follow various newspapers, and I used to even follow other people who used to share their views. So instead of reading the information, it's much more valuable than when you read the opinions, because when you read someone else's opinion, you can form your own opinion. And what matters in the SSB is not the information that you have, but the opinion that you have. That's how I
Right.
prepared for my GD and my lecture.
Yes, like a lot of people find it very difficult to read and retain. But when you are discussing it with your friends, it is much more easy to retain that information and to form your opinions, because it becomes easy for you to take a side, because you have heard from all the sides, like what are all the sides of the what are all the perspectives about that certain issue, right?
Yes,
So then, Aditya, let's come to the group planning exercise.
yes,
So there is a lot of estimation, observation, and like resources you have to churn out from various places. So how was it? How did you prepare? And were you able to write your complete solution?
yes. First of all, I was able to write the complete solution. It was because I had practiced to write the solution in that 10 minutes. After practicing, I could finish it around 9 minutes, and even I was happy with
Wonderful.
what I have written. So it all came with practice, and obviously it needed. It was because of the guidance of Vishal sir. What he told, I followed it religiously. He gave some practice GPs. I completed those not only once, twice, thrice. And after completing that, I have got a fair idea about what types of problem situations arise. Like if you analyze the performance, sorry, not the performance, but the GPs. You will find that even the situations that arise are quite similar. You don't need to go through every sort of disaster. You need to find out what are repeated, and you have to focus on that. So that's one thing. After that, I started searching on Google about what can be done in certain situations. Then I started reading. I even started watching YouTube videos. Like in a particular situation, suppose there is a landslide or there is a boat. There are people drowning. What people actually do? It comes to the same point that I could shape my own opinion on that.
Right.
Like
Because we have
after
not faced all the situations on our own,
yes, yes.
but we must know what are the practical solutions to those situations.
Yes, and that's more important to be practical. Like if there are people drowning, you cannot jump and go swim and rescue them. That's completely impractical. You could take help from others to like there are various practical ways, and I think that GP is more about practicality and taking the lead. Like if you are able to lead the group in the discussion, you will ultimately make a mark. That's it.
Yes, and when we are finding solutions when we have not faced that problem on ground, we may come up with some solutions which are not very practical or not feasible. So it's very important that we discuss it with our friends, we take some guidance, and we read about the real life situations which people have faced and have come up with the solutions. Rightly
Yes.
mentioned by you, Aditya. So after that, let's come to the outdoors where your mind gets grilled to another level. That is your PGT, HGT, command task. You have to come up with like some people enjoy it a lot, but some
Yes.
people find it really difficult to find solutions to those obstacles. So
Yes.
which category you fall in?
I
As
fall
your
in the cat.
SSB Wings alumni, I am expecting you to be the one who's always coming up with the solutions, right?
Yes, I'm the one who was enjoying the solution. Like even after the PGT was over, I felt like one more structure. I would love to do one more structure. Like you get into a flow when ideas start coming. You won't stop. Like when the group is stuck on the first obstacle itself, made the way to you have completed the obstacle in your mind. You just need to give the solution. That's it.
Right.
And what I found about the PGT, HGT, the structural part, that all the structures are based on a very few concepts. There are very few concepts on based on which you can solve any sort of structure. And in the workshop, we were made thorough with those concepts. And once those concepts are clear, I could even I have the confidence even at this moment that I can solve any structure in a very short time. And
If I
what
ask you, Aditya, like about the difficulty level which you saw there in the SSB and the structures which you used to solve in the practice sessions, which one were the more difficult ones?
the ones in the practice session were harder. Like I used to scratch my head that what should be done. But in the SSB, I did not need to do anything. I was like, okay, put this plank there, put this bully there. That's it. The obstacle has been cleared. That was the level.
Yes, mostly the answers are very easy, but we always keep looking for the difficult solutions. I don't know why, but that happens, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
for this, you need a correct approach, which you learned, which I hope you definitely learned in your practice sessions and you applied there on ground, right?
yes.
So Aditya, how was your command task?
The command task was pretty easy. Like and by the time the GTO has completed his briefing about the structures, I had made the solution, and like there are three channels in every obstacle. So I had made the solution for all the three channels by the time he has finished his briefing. So I was like, okay, tell me anything. I can do everything, and that happened. He started changing the colors and all, but it was still easy. I it like I'd never felt like it's some becoming harder. I think okay, he's just changing, but the difficulty level is remaining the same. That's it.
Yeah. Your mind remains calm when you have that confidence that yes, I can
Yes,
do
yes,
that. And when you are worried about like what should be done, you panic, and ultimately, even if it is very easy, you end up making it harder for you, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
that confidence comes with preparation and the right guidance which you got. Okay. So Aditya, this was all about your ground tasks, and then you must have had your individual obstacles, right?
yes.
So what do you think? What is being tested in individual obstacles? Is it your physical strength or something else?
No, it is not about physical strength. Physical strength is something that can be made in the academies. But what is more needed is your planning. Like people go for scoring maximum points, but they don't see that the 10 points structure is somewhere else, and the 9 point structure is somewhere else. But they don't make up a particular route. Like before the test started, we are given 30 seconds to 1 minute time to see all those obstacles. In that short time, I made my mind like what route I had to follow. Like I considered the easiest route. I was like, okay, even if I do minimum obstacles like 5, 6, that's okay. But whatever I have to do in a plan way. No, nowhere I must look that I'm in a hurry or I'm panicked that I should have done this, but I did not do. It was like everything was planned and everything happened as I planned. That's it.
Okay. Okay, great, Aditya. So your ground tasks also went well. Then coming to the last assessment, that is your interview.
Yes.
So, like if I ask you overall, like amongst the all three assessments, which one is your favorite?
GTO is my favorite.
Okay, so because you get to work there, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So coming to the interview, Aditya, the very important, the most important thing in interview is your PIQ,
Yes, yes, it
right?
is.
Because the whole interview is around that.
Yes.
So, did you practice filling the PIQ form?
Yes, I did practice because why practicing PIQ is important because you must know what you have written and because the questions will be all around what you have written. Like as Rajiv sir also said, it is the kundli of your of your interview. It is like if you miss something while speaking in the PIQ, you must be able to answer the counter questions.
Right.
That's
So, so you were were there any practice sessions where where you were taught how to fill your PIQ forms? Because we have done a lot of things in our life, but how to present it in a single sheet of paper, you know? So this is actually a skill, filling up the PIQ form.
yes. Like
So
it would be hard to believe that we spent 2 days on PIQ, but I feel that those 2 days were really very necessary because in those 2 days we could create the base for our interview. Like someone would say 2 days on just filling a PIQ doesn't sound good, but I feel that whatever it may sound, the one who experiences it, like I have experienced, giving 2 days dedicatedly 2 days for just filling the PIQ is important. And when Rajiv sir spent those 2 days, he helped each one out. He gave individual attention to everyone in the group, and that's how PIQ was well polished.
right, and that is very important. Okay, so Aditya, after that, did you undergo the mock interviews?
Yes, I underwent the mock interview and in which I was completely grilled. I could answer hardly a question, and after that I texted Rajiv sir, I couldn't perform, and it was an eye opener for me. But after that interview, I started working on everything. I started working on myself. I started introspecting. I looked back and figured out what all I have done in my life, my achievements, my strengths, my weaknesses, my school life, my college life, everything. And I made a note of that. And when everything was in front of me, I felt like this is what I have done in my life. And when you have when you write down your thoughts, you remember them very well. And when you remember it very well, you can present it in a great way to the assessor.
Right. So this is something which I believe that if you're not able to answer something related to organization or the current affairs, that doesn't make that much bad impact. But if you're not able to answer why you don't like a certain person or why you like a certain person, or like very basic questions of your own life, that is
Yes.
actually very problematic. That you
Yes.
you must have answers to these questions.
Yes, because current affairs, knowledge, whatever the knowledge part is, it can always be prepared or can be made better in the academies. But if you're living your life, it's your life. You need to know what all you have done. And I feel that one who knows his life, what all he has done, he can always make it to the SSB.
Right. And there's one more thing, Aditya, which I've seen, like when we go to the interviewing in like interview room and we answer a certain questions, we come out and then we realize, oh no, I had a better answer. Right? I should
Yes,
have told this. So if so that like we do not feel like we do not regret those things. For that we must practice and we must undergo
yes,
some mock interview so that we know the answers. Like this is something I have done and I should tell the interviewing officer. So for
yes,
that you need a lot of preparation. So
yes,
there your mock interviews come into play.
yes, they do.
So, how was your actual SSB interview? Like, did you feel like, okay, now my mock interviews have helped me here?
Yeah. I would say that the mock interview had set a different level for me, and I thought that the same would be the level for the actual SSB interview. But the level was pretty low. The interview went quite smooth, and there were no questions based on the knowledge part. They were completely based on my PIQ. And as I mentioned that I had written whatever I had done in my life about my family, my friends, my education. That was the only thing that the interviewer asked, and it was very easy for me to answer those things.
Right. So, of course, like even if when you are telling truth, but still you are sometimes you do not have answers. For that, you need to look into yourself and find answers for your questions, for very
Yes,
basic questions as well. So I hope Aditya, you you were completely helped by the mock interviews you underwent, and overall, if you want to tell the young aspirants who are aspiring to join armed forces, what will be your tips to those aspiring officers?
my tips to them would be just work on your personality and enjoy your life, because in the SSB, a candidate who has not enjoyed his life won't be given that preference, because if we talk in terms of OLQs, one who has not enjoyed his life is not a lively person. One, enjoy your life, work on your personality, then just I would say that believe in yourself. Like I've got recommended in the fourth attempt. Like I had that faith that okay, if not this time, maybe next time, maybe next time, and have the mental strength to face anything and everything. Even in the fourth attempt, like it is very well said that the technical entries have a big dropout ratio. Like one gets selected in 100 and 150. So I had made up my mind, okay, even if I face failure, it's okay. I'm ready for the next attempts. That's it. Have your mental strength to face anything and everything.
Right. So this is very rightly said by you, Aditya. Be ready to face the worst. Then nothing can, scare you or can tear you apart. Okay.
Yes.
So Aditya, it was really nice talking to you, and I wish you all the very best for your training. When are you going to join the academy?
The next week.
Oh my God, very soon. Okay. So all the very best, and
Thank you.
I hope you will do great there.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for joining us, Aditya.
Thank you.